Great job as always by Ruthie Polinsky there. I can't imagine going up to Buffalo. I know they're Dolphin fans. Oh, look, she's going up there to work. But there are Dolphin fans who are making the trip up there. I mean, shit, we haven't been in the playoffs since, in 6 years. So you're going up, you want to make the playoffs. You want to go to the playoff game. You got great fans, man. I got to give it up to you. I tip my hat to you. My Johnny Cuba hat, I tipped you. That's a good-looking hat, Johnny Cuba. Go grab yourself a Johnny, all right? Start your weekend with a six-pack of Johnny Cuba. Of course, Ruthie Polinsky, all of our guests brought to us by the official beer of ZASLOW Show 2.0, Johnny Cuba. Yeah, you're a hardcore Dolphin fan if you're going. I got to give it up to you. Good for you, You're not going to feel so great on your way back. That's not because you're sick. If you aren't feeling so great because you're sick, you got to call Doctors on Call 365. That's right. South Florida's urgent care that comes to you. Doctors on Call 365. If you're not feeling well, you got 102, 103 fever. I've been there. You call up the doctor. They tell you, okay, we got an appointment for you in March. I don't feel good right now. Doctors on Call 365. South Florida's urgent care that comes to you. Wherever you are. You're in your home. You can't get out of bed. You're in your offense. You need to feel better right now at work so you can continue the workday. Maybe you got a very important job. Wherever you're at, Doctors on Call 365 is coming to you. They're serving Broward County, Miami-Dade County, Southern Palm Beach as well. Now, they're self-pay right now. You got Medicare acceptance on the way soon, private insurance acceptance. That's coming down the line as well. But what you're going to pay for Doctors on Call 365 to get you the convenience of being in your home and not having to go out and not having to wait, you're going to pay more if you wind up going to the emergency room and you're waiting hours and then you got to pay your copay, or even at your local urgent care. You're going to pay more. This way, it's a convenience of sitting at home, and Doctors on Call 365 is coming to you. Whatever you need, strep test, COVID test, flu test, IV fluids, you need vitamin therapy, you need a prescription filled, Doctors on Call 365, they're going to take care of you. They've been a sponsor of ZASLOW Show 2.0 from very early on, and I wouldn't be telling you about them if I didn't use them as well myself. My son, me, I needed a COVID test. My son needed a strep test. I got a prescription filled. I mean, lifesaver. I was in bad shape. Doctors on Call 365.com, 786-577-9302. That's 786-577-9302. We're going to get to my pal Robbie Ramos, huge Miami sports fan, one of the stars of Stars' Heels, one of my favorite shows. He's going to join us coming up. Looking forward to talking to him. But first, you're probably sitting around right now, and you're listening to this show, and you know it's Friday. I mean, you were lost last week when I was in Utah. ZASLOW Family Vacation. ZASLOW Family's a skiing family now. And you're saying to yourself, yo, ZASLOW, I got to know. Is it a big game? Or is it not a big game? Yes, that's what we're talking about. Big game or not a big game. You know how we do. I'm sorry I left you out in the lurch. I left you hanging last week. But now we're going to do it correct, all right? Big game or not a big game. Let's start off tomorrow, 1 p.m., ABC, the Milwaukee Bucks at your favorite little basketball team, the Miami Heat. The Heat looking to sweep the 2 games here in Miami against Milwaukee. The Bucks, it's their only trip to South Florida, and tomorrow's going to be the only game that you get to see Giannis because he didn't play last night. Plus, it's on national television. The Heat have been playing very well lately. So, you got a nice little test for your favorite little basketball team. Plus, your boy's going to be in attendance. That's right. I'm taking the whole family, the whole Puchichala. We're all going to the game there at, I don't know what the building's called. I don't think it's FTX anymore, although the FTX logo was still up there last night. Bucks at Heat tomorrow. That's a big game. Yup, that's right. Okay, moving on. Let's keep this train rolling. Saturday, 4:30, NFL Super Wild Card Weekend. Fox, Seattle Seahawks. You know about 12th man? At the San Francisco 49ers. Well, in San Francisco, they don't have the 12th man. But what they do have is Brock Purdy, who never loses. In his life, he's never lost a game in the NFL. The Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith's having a really nice season, but the 49ers, they absolutely look like Super Bowl contenders. I think they're going to come out the NFC. I think they're going to smoke the Seahawks tomorrow. Seahawks at 49ers, that's still a big game. It's a playoff game. Come on, what are we talking about here? Yeah, it's a big game. Saturday night, 7 p.m. Bally Sports, Florida. That channel sucks. They always have technical issues. Vancouver Canucks at Florida Panthers. Now, the Canucks are having a disappointing season. The Panthers, they're having a shit season as well. Very upsetting loss last night against Vegas. At Vegas, it was a game the Panthers really outplayed them. And then they still found a way to blow it, to blow a lead in the third period. They allowed 3 third-period goals. That's their move. Go check how many games this year the Panthers have allowed 3 third-period goals. I'll bet it's a handful. Tomorrow night, Canucks at Panthers, not a big game. This team's not playing big games. If you stink, you're not playing big games. It hurts me to say that. I'm going to be watching at Big TV ZASLOW Mansion Family Room, and I'll have the football on the small TV. You know my style, but it's not a big game. That leads us to Saturday night at 8:15. NBC, that's the National Broadcasting Company. They got the game. Los Angeles Chargers at Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jags are the only home dog. No, they're one of two. The Jags are a home dog. They're one of 2 home dogs this weekend. 9-8, but red hot winning that AFC South division. Justin Herbert. Is he going to win a playoff game? Everybody knows Herbert's a really good quarterback, but you got to win some playoff games. So there's a bit of pressure here on Herbert. Trevor Lawrence, his first playoff game. Herbert versus Lawrence. And yes, the game's in Jacksonville. But based on that crowd last week, it was a Saturday night game where they won the AFC South against Tennessee. That crowd was hot. That's a hot crowd right there. Chargers at Jaguars, that's a big game tomorrow night. All right, let's go to Sunday. 1 p.m. CBS. You got Nance and Romo on the call for the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Now, everyone in the world, except for Dolphin fans, are rooting for the Bills. We're the bad guys. It's a lock that Damar Hamlin, who was discharged from the hospital a couple days ago, he's going to be at the game. He's going to be like in a suite, you know? He's going to be there with everyone he's going to be sitting next to Jim Kelly, and he's going to be sitting next to Cornelius Bennett, and he's going to be sitting next to Andre Reed, and he's going to be sitting next to Darryl Talley, and he's going to be sitting next to Bruce Smith. He's going to be sitting next to Steve Tasker. He's going to be sitting next to Don Beebe. He's going to be sitting next to James Lofton. He's going to be sitting next to everyone. And the crowd's going to be going crazy. And it's going to be a disaster for the Dolphins. But still, it's a playoff game. Dolphins at Bills. We're going to get stomped. But it's still a big game. Yes. It's still a big game. Sunday, 4:30, Fox. Giants at Vikings. This is the trendy pick, right? This is the game that everyone's like, yeah, this is going to be an upset. This is the one we like. We like the road team to beat the 13-win Vikings. I feel like the Vikings are the worst 13-win team that anyone's ever seen. Everyone loves the Giants. I like the Giants too. I think the Giants, they're a dog, but I think they win outright. I think the Giants are a better team. Vikings are the weirdest 13-win team I've ever seen. And it's a big game. Everyone's into it. That's a good time slot Sunday at 4:30. And finally, Sunday night, 8:15, NBC. Ravens at Bengals. Now, we'll get to the Lamar Jackson stuff and big deal, not a big deal. But Lamar Jackson's already ruled himself out. The team didn't rule him out. He ruled himself out. Connect the dots. Come on. You don't want to play. Lamar Jackson's out. The Ravens are at the Bengals. Joe Cool, Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow. The Bengals looking great the second half of the season. They're going to smoke their division rival Baltimore Ravens, but it's still a big game. I hate the Ravens too, so I'm looking forward to that. I find the Bengals to be very easy to root for. Ravens at Bengals, that's a big game. And that right there is another edition. A big game or not a big game. Yes! What a big weekend we got here. That's big game, not a big game. Come on now, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let me catch my breath. You guys know I'm always looking for the recommendations for shows to watch, for shows for me and my wife to be able to watch together. I'm giving you the recommendation now. Heels on Stars. You can go back and watch season 1, and you do not have to like wrestling. It's not. That was a great example that he gave. That it's a good comparison is Friday Night Lights, where it's not about football, Friday Night Lights. Yes, there's a lot of football. Well, actually not that much football in it, but, you know, you think it's about football. It's not about football. It's about the Taylor family, and it's about the town. And that's a great comparison for this show, Heels. Really happy for Robbie, though. He's great in the show, and obviously a really good dude. So appreciate him jumping on the program here. Hey, want to make sure I let everybody know, however you're listening to the program, make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. That really helps me out. And obviously, huge shout out. This is day number 3 as ZASLOW Show 2.0, a part of Blue Wire Podcast Network. We joined them in the middle of the week. This is now a Blue Wire Podcast show, so love being on board with them. Those guys have been nothing but great, and obviously if you want to check them out on social media, at Blue Wire Pods. But there you go, ZASLOW Show 2.0, now of course very proudly part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. You know what time it is. Got to wrap up the week. Is it a big deal or is it not a big deal? That's right. Let's do it. Big deal or not a big deal here. ZASLOW Show 2.0. First up, I already told you in big game, not a big game. The Ravens, they're going to get smashed at the Bengals because Lamar Jackson's not playing. Lamar Jackson announced that his knee is unstable. He's declared himself out. That happened yesterday. This is a big deal because this is the end of the relationship with the Lamar Jackson and Baltimore Ravens. They should trade him as opposed to franchising him. They clearly don't want to pay him. They should trade him. You'll get a lot for him. There will be another team out there, maybe the Dolphins, but they don't have the draft capital. But there will be another team out there who is going to be willing to pay him what he wants. I think what he wants is probably exorbitant. It's probably too much. It's probably more than Deshaun Watson, which is an outlier. And it's not real, the Deshaun Watson thing. All right. But Lamar Jackson and Baltimore Ravens, they are no longer going to be together. This is Lamar. It's very difficult not to take the leap that we've been building toward this. You didn't give Lamar Jackson the money. His knee, I'm not saying he's faking an injury, but I am saying if he had his money, he'd be out there playing. He'd play through the knee injury. But because he has the knee injury and he doesn't have the contract, he ain't playing. And the Baltimore Ravens, this is part they're doing because they cannot possibly be surprised that we've gotten to this point. If he was going to have any type of injury or any type of scare, he wasn't going to play. He's not going to risk it. And now it's kind of like you kind of made your bed and now you got to sleep in it. But I don't think Lamar Jackson's innocent in this spot. I think if he had his money, he'd be out there playing through it. But since he doesn't, he's not going to. He's not risking it. He's not about that right now with the Ravens. So this is a big deal. I don't think Lamar Jackson ever plays for the Ravens again. Big deal or not a big deal? So we know WWE appears to be for sale. Make sure you're listening tomorrow. Every Saturday, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It's still real to me, myself, my partner, Joey Levine. We catch you up on all the big stories in the week of pro wrestling. And this was a huge week, all right? It seems like the Saudi stuff, that was everybody jumping the gun a little bit. Go back and listen to ZASLOW Show 2.0 yesterday. We were joined by Pro Wrestling Insider John Alba. He was excellent. We went over a lot of that stuff with him. Make sure you listen tomorrow to It's Still Real to Me. But WWE, it looks like they're for sale. And the Khan family, Shad Khan, who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, his son Tony Khan runs AEW. They are said to be interested in purchasing WWE. That would be wild. That's a big deal. I think most everyone would be like, the Saudi stuff is scary. Tony Khan, the Khan family buying WWE, I think everyone would be okay with that. You would feel like it's in good hands. As long as you still keep them separate, AEW, WWE, it's still separate. They're not together. That's a big deal. I'm very interested in hearing more about that. We'll see. All right, big deal or not a big deal? Last night, the Dallas Mavericks got 35 points, a triple-double from Luka Doncic. They win in double overtime at the Lakers, but it was not before the end of regulation where Luka had to tie the game.
To right back. Schroeder on Doncic. Three-pointer on its way for the top. It's good. Luka Doncic, a clutch three. Timeout Lakers. 6 seconds left. A little Luka magic in downtown Los Angeles.
Good win for the Mavericks there. You had a little bit of a dust-up between Doncic and Westbrook at one point. They ended up making nice toward the end. That's a big deal. Luka's a lot of fun to watch, man. Finally got one more for you here. Big deal or not a big deal? We talked about it yesterday. If Kyrie Irving wants to be taken serious as a top guy, hey, last night's a good place to start where you got the Celtics at the Nets. It's a TNT game. No Kevin Durant for the next month. Can Kyrie Irving carry them? I don't believe he can. He put up a stinker last night. He was like 9 for 24. He did not play well. The Celtics beat the Nets 109-98. But the reason this is a big deal is Ben Simmons last night, and it's a big deal. Ben Simmons, he had 9 rebounds and 13 assists for Brooklyn. You know why I didn't tell you how many points he had? Because he had 0. 0 points. 0 for 3 from the floor. I mean, he's supposed to be their second best player with Durant out. Durant's out for a month. Ben Simmons, you need to take more than 3 shots. Like, it's nice that you get the rebounds. It's nice that you get the assists. You need to take more than 3 shots when Kevin Durant ain't playing. That's a big deal. He's a weird guy. I don't understand what's going on there. Celtics beat the Nets last night, but the Nets side of things, that's a big deal. And that right there is another edition. A big deal or not a big deal. All right, make sure you listen to It's Still Real to Me tomorrow. I'm super pumped about being with Blue Wire Podcast Network for having me. And like I said, everyone's been really nice, really easy to work with so far. I'm super appreciative. Hey, tell your friends, tell your mother I say hello, tell everybody about the podcast. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment. Watch on YouTube, youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show. If you want to get involved, if you're looking for a sponsorship, JonathanZaslow@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me. We can see if we can partner up. Appreciate everybody. We'll talk to you on ZASLOW Show 2.0 on Monday. Know what that means.